Hello everyone, welcome to Tactica Imperialis and to... Hang on, I should put this down a bit. Because of the light, the bloody light. Hello everyone, welcome to Tactica Imperialis and to today's video. Today is going to be my thoughts on the Horus Heresy Weekender 2019. It's been quite a very fun weekend, has it not? We've got to see a bunch of reveals, a bunch of information, and as well as a bit of a look as to what's coming soon and what's coming a little bit further down the line. This is sort of Forge World's big show because Forge World mainly focuses on 30k, and so it's really good to see it, and we've got to look at some stuff for other Forge World stuff outside of the Heresy stuff as well. So we're going to go through the live blog and just have a bit of a discussion about the various things that we have seen. Unfortunately, I don't get to talk about the best thing until the end, but then I suppose that's probably, if you know what was at the Weekender, what you're mainly looking for, my opinion on. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, let's begin. So, starting at the top, we have Book 9. This is the last thing they revealed. I'm going to have to go in reverse chronological order because it's easier to scroll down than up. And so Book 9 is going to be the Thramas Crusade. I believe this was supposed to be in Book 8, but then a lot of things changed at Forge World. I believe this was around the time that Alan Bly sadly died, and so things had to change. But Book 9 will be the Night Lords, the Dark Angels, and I believe also there will be some Alpha Legion hidden in here. No, the Alpha Legion are in Book 8. Sorry, I'm being silly. It will be Dark Angels, Night Lords, Psychic Arcana, and a full Dark Mechanicum army list. Honestly, finally. That's a really good thing to see. The Dark Angels are, I think, the last Legion to be done as part of the 30k rules set. The Night Lords were one of the first, so it makes sense to expand them since they now can. And the Dark Mechanicum have always been sort of just there, but they've never really looked at them in any full depth because they've not done the Schism of Mars. So I think this is as good a time as any to introduce the Dark Mechanicum, since we're getting demons as part of Book 8, the Demons of the Ruinstorm. We'll get to that. So I am very much happy to see the Dark Mechanicum introduced because it just adds another dimension to the game. It's another faction. It'll be interesting to see how many unique models they get separate from the Loyal Mechanicum, who became the Mechanicus, of course. So I'm intrigued. We don't have any idea when it's going to be out. Obviously, they've not shown any models or anything like that here. So we'll see. I'm hoping we get it within this year. And hopefully Forge World are back on the sort of Age of Darkness creation train now that they've had the whole shake-up with Book 7 and 8. Not everything that happened in-house. So hopefully Book 9 will be out by the end of the year. But I make no promises, and I don't think Forge World do either. Then we had a little bit of Black Library stuff talking about the Horus Heresy, since, well, it's the Horus Heresy Weekender, not really Forge World's day. So we get a little bit of information about the Buried Dagger. We talked about the Buried Dagger at length, and it will be on Adeptus Podcasters this week, which, by the time this video comes out, will be out tomorrow on the 40k Theories channel, so make sure you go and watch that. We also get to see the Angron Primarch novels cover art, and just as always with these novels, it's blimmin' awesome. I really, really like it. It's an interesting design for Gorefather, because honestly, I don't remember the Angron novel the Angron model very well. So I don't remember if Gorefather quite had that that curvature at the back. I don't quite remember. But it reminds me a lot of the Angron model in terms of the fact that he's charging forward. Obviously, the Angron model had Gorefather and Gorechild in his hands. So yeah, it's just interesting. Did they talk about much here? No, I think they talk about it elsewhere. We get a new bit of cover-up for Visions of Heresy, which is an art book, although I don't think that's a new art piece. I feel like I've seen that before. And then we also get a map of the Sol system, which will be updated as the Siege of Terror goes along. So, as we get the Siege of Terror books, which I'm assuming will be the novels and whatever accompanying supplementary material they get, we'll get to see how this map evolves to show exactly how Horus took Sol. Because we know, obviously, the beginnings of the Solar War came at Pluto, with the war between Dawn and Alpharius. But then there's a bit of a gap, where we don't quite know how Horus did it. Or if we do, I don't remember it off the top of my head. They obviously had to avoid Mars, because Mars was being blockaded by the Imperium after the Schism of Mars. And then they had to invade Terra, so did they maybe go round and go to Venus as well to try and cut that off? Because Venus was obviously an important world for Sol in its own way, I'm sure. So it'll be interesting to see just how Sol evolves as the Solar War goes on, because it'll give us probably one of the best insights we've ever had into how Sol looks now. Because whilst the Imperium will, of course, have rebuilt after the Solar War and after the Horus Heresy, shoring up Terra's defences, retaking Mars and that business, I'll be interested to see quite what a state it was left in, and then speculate as to how much of it is left like that in the modern era. Adeptus Titanicus, the specialist game, is not going anywhere, and the next book will be The Doom of Molech. Molech, of course, was the world on which the Knights Errant launched their attack on the Vengeful Spirit, which is, of course, a very important mission in its own way. Obviously, we can't really recreate that in this setup, because obviously this is Titanicus as opposed to a skirmish game or 30k, but we shall see whether that sort of thing is in Book 8. I believe I saw somewhere something about Knight Errant rules knocking about, so maybe we will, maybe we won't, I can't quite recall. Titanicus is getting 2 new resin tiles, so new maps, excellent, and a standalone set of plastic spires that can be added to any terrain, which is obviously lovely to see. More terrain is always good if you can afford it. So store owners and GMs, or TOs, I suppose is the better word, make sure that you're looking at this, because just to spice up your board. And I suspect Sororitas players will absolutely love this. If you play a lot of Stronghold Assault, Cities of Death, and of course the new Urban Conquest, I get the feeling that'll be quite popular for ecclesiarchal districts. I approve. I approve of the new Titanicus terrain. And they're apparently highly modular and can be added and removed from chosen structures, so good. More customizable terrain is always a good thing. And there's the information that it's a supplement to Titanicus, a sequel to Titan Death, The Doom of Molech. So, hang on a second, we get this up. There we go. A huge conflict in Age of Darkness, a war that would dwarf even the battles between the legions that came before it, as knights, titans, and more joined in the rebellion. Allows you to fight these battles for yourself with lore and campaigns that bring the conflict explored in Vengeful Spirit, which is the novel around Molech when Horus went to Molech and got himself all powered up. There's even options for an entire army of knights, and that's obviously where the most infamous traitor Knight House came from. I don't remember covering House Divine in my Knights and Titans video, but I probably should have done. We've got new Plastic Sprues, so we know the Reaver and the Warlord weapons are coming soon, and there's going to be even more. So more esoteric options like Quake Cannons, Warp Missile Racks. Yeah, Titanicus is going to get a little bit crazy. I do hope that they actually really keep pushing this as long as they can, because it's obviously proving popular. And they're also bringing back the Warlord Edition. They're an image for the Grandmaster Edition, but they say it's the Warlord Edition. So hopefully more people will be encouraged to get started in Titanicus, because I think that's probably the greatest challenge, is getting people started as opposed to anything else. So yeah, good to see Titanicus still being pushed, and maybe once they've got through all the Horus Heresy stuff, maybe one day we'll see some Xenos Titans in there as well, just for fun. Now, back to the original day. This was Saturday, the first day of the Weekender, and we got a bunch of models. Now, first off, we have some White Scar Praetors. I'm going with Praetors because I prefer to pronounce it. We've got a dude on the left who's got a sort of, I want to say halberd, but no, it's not a halberd, polearm sort of weapon. And he's running, doing like a running jump maybe. And I like the model, I like the pose. The only problem I have with it is the head. The head seems to have been either weirdly painted or is just a bad choice of sculpt. I don't know. But I think a head swap, give it a helmet, I think would be better for this model, just personally. Then we also have a Praetor in Cataphracti armor with a eagle. We'll see if that eagle has any use in game. And that is a badass model indeed. Again, I feel like the head is a little bit interestingly painted. I don't know, it just feels like it's missing a little bit of detail compared to some faces I've seen GW paint. Might just be me, but it looks good, and I think that one doesn't need anything doing to it. At least I wouldn't do anything to it if I were making it myself. We also get a look at a White Scars Contempt Er and a Leviathan. So we've seen the Night Lord's Leviathan before. That was a quite recent show-off. So the White Scars now have their own. It's not quite as dramatic as the Night Lord's version, I'll be completely honest with you, but it is pretty nonetheless nice and tribal with some of the markings, like particularly around the sash area. I approve. And the Contempt Er, I really like the Contempt Er. I don't really know why. Maybe it's the face. I like the helmet. Or the faceplate, or whatever you want to call it, of the Contempt Er quite a lot here. And the detailing across the chest and at the waist and all of that. Yeah, I quite like it. I'm not quite sure what the gold detailing is. Like, it's like a really mottled gold. So I'm interested to see if that's been sculpted or painted that way. But either way, I like that model. We just get confirmation there is a new upsized Dreadnought drop pod coming. There were people at the Weekender who were looking at this, and it looks pretty impressive, I will say. So excellent. And we also get our second Blood Angels character. We saw Sanguinius a short time ago, and now we get to see Ralderon, captain of the first company and their first chapter master after the Horus Heresy and the Codex Astartes. And Ralderon looks really good. It's a really nice model. It might look familiar to you, and it should, because it's almost exactly the same pose as Sigismund. The difference is Sigismund is posed with his sword across his body and his arm sort of out, whereas Ralderon is holding the sword. Someone was saying to me that probably means that it's much harder to break the model if he's actually got a hand on the blade, so it won't just snap and wobble about so much. I like the base. I'm really not sure what that arm came off of. Some ruin-storm demon that we'll see, I'm sure, at some point. But looks good and settles a little bet that, well, not bet, a little debate that Remlaze and I were having. So Ralderon it is, and I expect Azkillon will be the other one that we get in due course. We also get a new knight, the Acastus Knight Asterius, which is impressive. I'm not a huge Knights and Titans sort of person, I'll be completely honest, but I do like it in general. I'm not quite sure about this closed up, like, shell faceplate thingy. That's just not me, but I do like it in general. It's pretty decent, and I'm sure it goes well with other knights. And we also get the Ordinatus Actaeus, aka the Mole. This thing has been coming for a long, long time. I'm sure we've seen this like months ago. We saw the Mole, or the Actaeus to give it its proper name. And I believe it's like fully maneuverable, like you can take the drill off and you've got all the undersculpted details and you can lift it. And I'm sure with a bit of magnetization, if you can't do it naturally, it might slide. So you can really do some cool stuff with the Actaeus. I think someone I saw on Twitter fiddling around with the thing. It does look really impressive. And while I haven't seen it to scale in any of the photos that I've seen, I'm sure given how long those treads look, that thing's going to be absolutely ginormous, as it should. It's an Ordinatus weapon. We also get to see some new concept, so sort of like original like CG designs. And we see the White Scars Terminators. I believe these are the Keshig. I saw someone post a slide from the weekend. These are Keshig Terminators, which are the elite White Scars first company. And they look great. Gotta be honest, they look really, really great. Coming along nicely. You can see you've got those polearm weapons again, like the Praetor we saw earlier had. They've got a little bit of dynamism, which is something the White Scars need, because you've got 2 or 3 of them advancing, maybe even more. And yeah, I really like the dynamism. And then we get a Contempt Er Dreadnought with a jump pack. I've heard various things about this thing. So from what I'm led to believe, it's going to be a Blood Angel type of deep striking dreadnought. So it's not like it's going to be a jump pack where your dreadnoughts can just hop around the board. So far as I'm told, it will be used for deep strike. So it comes in, and when it doesn't have a drop pod available to it, it drops in, and then it runs out of fuel and it goes on and does its thing. I can't verify that, that's just something I heard. But jump pack dreadnoughts, or even just deep striking dreadnoughts, is pretty fun. And I like the weapons, because the weapons really call back to me, or call forward, I suppose, to the blood talons that you'll go on to see on the Death Company dreadnoughts of the modern Blood Angels. So you can see that it wasn't a new invention, the blood talons. The Contemptors had them way back in the Age of Darkness, so nice little bit of continuity there, if you ask me. We also get a bit of discussion about Necromonger, because Forge World got to talk about this as well. So, they say in this article that they've filled out the main houses now. The only one I can think of that's sort of pseudo-conspicuous, like Delax there, Vansar, I think, is there, Cawdor is there, Escher is there, Goliath is there, and who's the other one that's there? Oh, I should know this. It'll probably come to me in about 15 minutes. Anyway, they've got the main houses in now, so they're going to start fleshing out the other stuff. So we've got the Guild Mercenary Bertram Arturos III, which I think is the guy on the left, who looks creepy as all hell. And then you've got the words, Ortrum 8-8 and Thetos. The guy on the right really, I think, will be used a lot in Traitor Guard armies as like their equivalent to Primaris Psychers, because, oh my god, yes. And the one in the middle really reminds me of a Witch Hunter, actually, from old Warhammer Fantasy. So I think Age of Sigmar Free Guild players, or actually no, it's Devoted of Sigmar, I think, have the Witch Hunters. I think the Witch Hunter model might actually have some competition there. We've got Bomb Rats for House Cawdor. That's adorable. Side note, I have seen the fact that we've got Skaven coming very, very soon. I'm not sure if I'll make a separate video about that going forward, but I do know Battletome Skaven is on the way, and I feel like, for thematic reasons, these will make some very cool objective markers, or giant rat things to proxy in, if you want your Skavens to look a bit more teched up. So Scryer with Allied in Molder might get some benefit out of this, I don't know. Delac will be getting some new heads, obviously, excellent, and weapons, because they always do. And we get some new bounty hunters. Yar Umbra, which is this sniper sort of character, and the Deserter, which is this guy with a shotgun and a Voxcaster. They both look good. Not going to say too much because, like, they're nice models. I'm never going to own them, but that's just because I don't play Necromonger and I'm not that fussed for Imperial models in general, I suppose. But they are nice models. And we also get to see a couple of new hangers-on. Someone gave me the names for these guys, and I've forgotten. So you've got a sort of assassin-y type character with a pistol and a sword. And then you've got... Originally, I thought this was like an explosives dude. I think I'm led to believe it's an ammo guy as a hanger-on as opposed to explosives. Because to me, that looks like a ginormous demo charge with grenades strapped to his chest. I thought that was like demolitions expert, but I'm told it's ammo guy, so willing to take either. We have another squat, yes, 2 squats. This guy is Ragnir Gunstein, and he is an ammo jack, so he'll be helping your gang, and particularly Grendel Grendelson, if you have him in your army, stay topped up, nice and helpful. And since the 6 clan houses are now on the board, the possibilities are pretty much endless in their own words. So we get to see 4 little bits of concept artwork. You've got Mechanicus Blue Scribes ripoff, Sniper Harlequin ripoff, Borai Cho from Mortal Kombat. I'm sorry, I can't not see it. And what I think is a Spyra. I don't know because the wings look a little bit too real to be like out of a Spyra's mech suit or whatever they call them. But it could be a Spyra. That was my first guess when I saw it, was that it was a Spyra. Either way, I love what this concept art might imply in terms of future models. Top left and bottom right, in my opinion, absolutely take the win. But I'm interested to see all of them and how they fit in. And finally, we get to talk about Sanguinius, the latest Primarch to be joining the Age of Darkness. Now, Sanguinius came out, or was revealed a week or so ago, and looked okay. There was a mixed reception online, mostly due to the fact that it looked like he was either sliding down a board or was surfing, and the fact that he was holding his sword, when people were like, where's the Spear of Telesto? Some people said his hair looked like a Super Saiyan. I personally didn't see it myself. But there wasn't quite the same hype for this model as there might be should have been. But then the hype was always going to be way too high to meet because, damn, it's Sanguinius. People are always going to have their hopes too high when it comes to Angel Boy. But now we get to see him on his scenic base with the Spear of Telesto, and he looks like a freaking badass. Sanguinius looks amazing. Some of the all-round like 360-degree shots I've seen from the Weekender, some people put videos on Twitter, and there were photos from the open day. And oh my god, this model is absolutely gorgeous. I love this model. I'm probably not going to buy it just because I already have a Primarch that I haven't finished because I never did Magnus's scenic base, I'm sorry. But Sanguinius looks amazing, and when you put him with an army of Blood Angels, he's like, his base is like a Space Marine tall. It's huge. He towers over everyone, as he should, because he's Sanguinius. The wings look amazing. The weapon looks great when you actually use the Spear of Telesto. Just so much yes. So much yes to Sanguinius. Yes. So he'll get his rules in Book 8. Blood Angels, White Scars. I believe there's some Alpha Legion in here. Nice little bit of artwork there. So yeah, a bit about Alpha Legion and Demonology. And we also get the demons enter the fray for the first time. Now obviously this book involves Cygnus Prime, so expect that predominantly Khorne will get the spotlight here, but I suspect that all of the types of demons should get a little bit of time in the spotlight. But what will be interesting is the fact that the armor on Raldoron's base and the model on Sanguinius' base don't belong to a demon as you or I would know them. At least I don't recognize them. I believe they're actually demons of the Ruin Storm, and so they're not quite normal demons as you or I would recognize them in 40k or Age of Sigmar. So while they do say that you can use the demon army in all major game systems, that being 40k, AOS, and 30k, they may also introduce some like Ruin Storm exclusive demons, though I wouldn't want to bank on it. We shall see. But you do get a full army list, which is lovely, and you also get access to the Blood Angels, Crimson Paladins, the Night Lords, Leviathan. They were on display, I'm sure, and people could buy them there, as well as these guys. The Death Sworn. These guys are basically like Sane Wolfen. At least that's how I vaguely remember them. Honestly, I'm a Thousand Suns fan. I'm not a fan of Space Wolves. I'm sorry. But they do look kind of cool. They suit sort of Space Wolves generally, but I can't unsee the fact that these are just good Wolf Priest conversions. They look so much like Wolf Priests that it's like, I can't not see it. So, they look nice, but they're not for me, and that's maybe just because I have a bias against Space Wolves. That's probably just me. And that is everything that was on display and revealed at the Horus Heresy Weekender 2019. What a weekend it was, I must say. There's been a lot revealed, a lot hinted at, and a lot that we can get excited for. Book 8 will probably not be too far away. Sanguinius looks amazing, and all the models that I think we're going to get accompanying it look pretty damn good too. With the Crimson Paladins, Raldoron, the White Scars, Contempt Er, and their Eagle Praetor. I'd probably do a head swap on the Power Armored one. The Keshig that are coming along look grand, and the Contempt Er with Jetpack is also pretty interesting too. Book 9 has now been laid out. We don't have a title for it yet, but we know Book 9 is going to be. So hopefully we can start getting a little bit of a look towards that once we get through the White Scars and any new demons that they introduce. Hopefully Jagtai Khan, I'm honestly not sure what they're going to do with Jagtai Khan, whether he's going to be on a jet bike, on a bike, on foot, we shall have to see. But I'm looking forward to seeing what the White Scars bring. Titanicus, I've never really invested in Titanicus, probably because of the cost of entry. But it's good to see that's still getting supported and more options being introduced to it, because that helps keep the game alive. Necromonger, the same, getting more support even after the main houses are in the game. So new bounty hunters, new options, open the game up, and hopefully run riots with it, because Necromonger is damn popular, and I hope that it stays that way going forward. And we also got a tiny little bit of a look for Black Library, though not much. It wasn't really their time to shine. There'll be a Black Library weekend soon enough. So that's it for this weekend. I believe that this weekend coming is the Las Vegas Open. So there'll be another studio preview for me to talk about very, very soon. We'll hopefully get to see a bit more of a look at the Flesh Eater Courts and the Skaven, if we haven't seen it all already. And hopefully a little bit of a look into what's coming soon for 40k and AOS as well, once that those two battle tomes are out. But that is for the future, not for right now. Thank you very much for watching this video. Do let me know what you think in the comments below. This has been Tactica Imperialis, and this has been my thoughts on the Horus Heresy Weekender 2019. I'll see you all again. Bye for now.